Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I take my notes for school. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. Step number 1 is to gather your resources, and this is what I do before I even start taking my notes. So what I would do is I would prepare my textbook, which may or may not be on my iPad, and I'll just have it open and ready to go. If you don't have it on your device, or if you don't want it on your device because it will distract you, then you can have a paper textbook open as well if you're making notes from that. However, if you're not making notes from the textbook, you can use handouts, printouts, worksheets, basically that sort of stuff to make your notes. And if you're making them in class, you can use a PowerPoint and whatever the teacher is saying. But if you're rewriting your notes after school, you can just use your class notes that you took to make them. So yeah. Step number 2 is the final part before we actually start making notes, and that's to gather your notebooks that you're going to make notes in. This is obviously an important part because if you don't have your notebook sorted, then where are you going to make your notes? Here just me flipping through my business notebook, which I think is pretty aesthetic. But if you don't want to use a notebook, you can use loose leaf paper, which is very handy because you can put it in a binder if you want your binder to be like organized with your notes. Step number 3 is to make the title stand out. The title is a key part of the page, which is why you need to make it stand out in order to know what that page is about. This will be especially handy if you are flipping through your textbook and you want to quickly find where you wrote about a certain topic. And it will also help you easily locate where you put your notes for one topic and the other. What I do is a simple design with just calligraphy title with like the highlighter on the side. But here's some other title ideas if you are kind of stuck. So you can use a brush pen to write in block capitals, as I'm showing you guys here. Or you can use a highlighter and use like the chisel tip of the highlighter to make the horizontal part thin and the vertical part chunky, which makes it look kind of 3D. Well, I mean, it looks like it has the shadow, I guess. You can also just write title like normally with a pen nib, or you can write it joined up like a cursive kind of theme, I guess. There's like loads of ideas you can do. There's like an entire video, I guess, online, but here's me just showing you some more. This, especially the one that's coming on the screen right now, is you can like write the subheading in the middle of the title, which is a cool idea, I guess, if you want to incorporate the subheading into the title. And yeah, I'm just using one color scheme, but you can mix it up a little. I usually just do with a calligraphy pen. I don't really use a highlighter. And if you don't really use a highlighter either, you can just use a normal pen or a gel pen, or just a marker that's a little chunkier than your normal pen. Honestly, there's so many ways you can write a title. Just be creative and come up with your own ideas if you are stuck and don't want to use mine. There are many Pinterest pins online as well if you have Pinterest and want to look at those. I'll end with a simple bubble lettering kind of title because it still looks really nice and it just looks kind of fun, Step number 4 is subheadings, and subheadings are more important than you think because they kind of make up the sections of your notes, I guess, because there's different subheadings for different parts of your information. I'm not going to go into too much of the detail and like the design because obviously you can use the title designs for subheadings as well. Honestly, all I'm doing is just writing subheading with a gel pen and then just highlighting it once it's dry because it is an ink pen. Step number 5 is the main information, or like the bullet points. So what you can do is you can write this main information, which by the way makes up the majority of your notes and is like the main thing that you want to put onto your page. So what you can do is you can write in like never-ending sentences or like paragraphs, just like everyday English, like a normal structure. Or you can do what I do, which is the bullet point format or like a list format. So if you want to do like a number list, like on a scale of 1 to 10, or like a top 10 list kind of thing, I just do a bullet point, a list, and then I can add extra bullet points inside those bullet points, if that makes sense, just to add extra detail and stuff like that. The thing is, when you're done, you can just use a highlighter to make the bullet points, and that will add just a little extra detail on your page, and it'll make it look a little bit more aesthetic, I guess. Yeah. Step number 6 is to use diagrams to make everything a little more easier for you to understand. This one's especially helpful for visual learners out there, just like me, who learn better with images and like diagrams and stuff. If you want to know what type of a learner you are, I have made a video on it before, so you can go check that out. But anyways, diagrams just add that little more, I don't want to say detail, but like it just adds a image on your page, and like it just makes it look better, because if you just have sentences and paragraphs, then it will look very basic. And I'm not trying to say that just sentences and paragraphs doesn't look nice, but it could look a little better with these little doodles or like annotations and stuff and labels. Step number 7 is to use one color highlighter. So just use one highlighter of one color. This will make your page look much more organized, because if you have different colors, it'll make it look messy. The highlighters I use are just the zebra myliners, because they're very like popular, and like they do work really well for me. The normal ballpoint pen that I use is the Zebra Z Grip, and the gel pen I use for my subheadings is the V-Ball 0.7mm pen. Step number 8 is to use a similar pen for details. So what I mean by this is, since your highlighter will kind of decide the color scheme on your page, use a pen of a similar color to write important terms while you're writing a sentence. Let me explain, because it's kind of confusing, but not really. When you're writing a sentence and you're about to write a important term or a word that you know is important for your topic, then just change pens and write it in the pen that you want to, and make sure it like kind of fits in with your color scheme. Otherwise, it may look a little messy. I'm just using a big pen, but you can use one of the 𝐸𝚘 pens, I think that's how it's pronounced, and they're really popular. Anyways, you can make a glossary at the end of the page if you used definitions for the pen. So yeah. Step number 9 is to make a summary at the end of the page. So when you're done making your notes, make sure to leave some space at the end of the page so you can make a summary. What I do is I just make 3 bullet points and try and sum everything up into those 3 bullet points or less. It's very simple to explain, and sometimes I use diagrams to explain myself as well. Last but definitely not the least is step number 10, which is to add questions at the end. Similar to the summary, if you don't want to put it in a summary because the subject or like the notes for that day didn't really require one, you can just add questions or like search up exam questions and write those in. When you're looking through them, you can test yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.